Did you know that Albert Einstein once refused the position of President of Israel? Einstein was not an Israeli citizen. However, it is Jewish. The German-born physicist was offered the post, but turned it down in 1952. But he refused. Have you ever heard of historical stories so strange you can hardly believe they're true? Facts that make you wonder. How did this even happen? In this world, there are historical facts that completely defy logic and reason. And in this episode, we're back with part 5 of a series of stories that will leave you questioning everything. Ready to explore the strangest corners of history? These facts aren't just surprising. They might make you rethink everything you thought you knew about the past. So, buckle up. Here are 25 mind-blowing historical facts that are almost too weird to be true. Part 5. Make sure to watch until the end, because in this video, you just might discover a fact that changes the way you see history forever. Let's get started. One man survived both the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and then later Nagasaki. Tsutomu Yamaguchi was a 29-year-old naval engineer on a 3-month business trip to Hiroshima. He survived the atomic bomb on August 6, 1945, despite being less than 2 miles away from Ground Zero. On August 7th, he boarded a train back to his hometown of Nagasaki. On August 9th, while being with colleagues at an office building, another boom split the sound barrier. A flash of white light filled the sky. Yamaguchi emerged from the wreckage with only minor injuries on top of his current injuries. He had survived 2 nuclear blasts in 2 days. 2. Since the end of World War I, over 1,000 people have died from leftover unexploded bombs. During the Great War, an estimated 200 pounds of explosives were fired per square foot of territory on the Western Front. However, not all of these shells exploded. Since 1919, over 1,000 civilians and ordnance collectors have died from explosions caused by these in France and Belgium. 3. Thomas Edison didn't invent most of the stuff he patented. It's fair to say that Edison was one of the world's most notorious intellectual property thieves. Of the 1,093 things he put a patent on, he stole most of them from geniuses like Nikola Tesla, Wilhelm Röntgen, and Joseph Swan, who originally invented the light bulb. 4. Genghis Khan was tolerant of all religions. One was his interest in learning philosophical and moral lessons from other religions. Despite being a Tengrist, he often consulted with Buddhist monks, Muslims, Christian missionaries, and Taoist monks. 5. Captain Morgan was a real person. The face of the much-loved rum brand was a Welsh privateer who fought against the Spanish alongside the English in the Caribbean. His full name was Sir Henry Morgan, and he was knighted by King Charles II. 6. Did you know turkeys were once worshipped as gods? The Mayan people believed turkeys were the vessels of the gods and honored them with worship. 7. Fox tossing was once a popular sport. Popular with Europe's elite during the 17th and 18th centuries, fox tossing would involve a person throwing a fox as far and as high as they could. 8. The saying, "fly off the handle," originates from the 1800s. It's a saying that refers to cheap axe heads flying off their handles when swung backward before a chop. 94% of the Normandy beaches are made up of shrapnel from the D-Day landings. More than 5,000 tons of bombs were dropped by the Allies on the Axis powers as part of the prelude to the Normandy landings. Scientists who have studied the sand on the beaches of Normandy, and they've found microscopic bits of smoothed-down shrapnel from the landings. 10. Albert Einstein turned down the presidency of Israel. Einstein wasn't a citizen of Israel. However, he was Jewish. The German-born physicist was offered the post, but turned it down in 1952, saying, I am deeply moved by the offer from our state of Israel, and at once saddened and ashamed that I cannot accept it. All my life I have dealt with objective matters. Hence, I lack both the natural aptitude and the experience to deal properly with people and to exercise official functions. 11. A Japanese fighter pilot once dropped wreaths over the ocean to commemorate the dead from both sides during World War II. During a sea battle in the Pacific Ocean in December 1940, two Royal Navy ships, the HMS Prince of Wales and the HMS Repulse, were sunk by Japanese fighters. The following day, Japanese Flight Lieutenant Haruki Iki flew to the location of the battle and dropped two wreaths over the seas. 12th. An ancient text called the Voynich Manuscript still baffles scientists. Handwritten in an unknown language, the Voynich manuscript has been carbon dated to roughly 1404 to 1438. Hundreds of cryptographers and master codebreakers have tried to decipher it over the years, with none succeeding in grasping its meaning or origin. 13. The Eastern Roman Empire's weapon, called Greek fire, was used in ship-mounted flamethrowers. This weapon was so unique and deadly due to the fact that throwing water onto it would only feed the fire. It was mostly used in naval warfare, as the large flamethrowers needed for its projectile use could be better accommodated by ships rather than infantry. 14. During World War I, the French built a fake Paris, complete with a duplicate Champs-Élysées and Gare du Nord. This fake Paris was built by the French towards the end of World War I. It was built as a means of throwing off German bomber and fighter pilots flying over French skies. 15. Since 1945, all British tanks are equipped with tea-making facilities. Having 30 tanks destroyed by the Germans while English soldiers were taking a 15-minute tea break, British High Command realized if tank crews could make a brew on the go, then they wouldn't be susceptible to being caught with their pants down and their kettles out by the enemy. 16. Shrapnel is named after its inventor. British Army officer Henry Shrapnel was the first person to invent an anti-personnel shell that could transport a large number of bullets to its target before releasing them. 17. Cleopatra's reign was closer to the moon landings than the Great Pyramid being built. The Egyptian royal reigned from 51 BC to 30 BC, roughly 2,500 years after the Great Pyramid of Giza was built, and roughly 2,000 years before the first lunar landings in 1969-18. In ancient Greece, wearing skirts was manly. In fact, Greeks viewed trousers as effeminate and would mock any men who wore them. 19. The UK government collected postcards as intelligence for the D-Day landings. This was an intelligence-gathering exercise. Initiated by Lieutenant General Frederick Morgan, he was searching for the hardest beaches to defend. The postcards were sent to the War Office and helped form part of the decision to choose Normandy as the location for the eventual D-Day landings. 20. The Vikings were the first people to discover America. Half a millennium before Christopher Columbus, Viking chief Leif Erikson of Greenland landed on the island of Newfoundland in the year 1000 AD. The Vikings under Leif Erikson settled Newfoundland, as well as discovering and settling Labrador further north in Canada. 21. The Colosseum was originally clad entirely in marble. When you visit or see the Colosseum these days, you'll notice how the stone exterior appears to be covered in pockmarks all across its surface. The reason for the pockmarks is, after the fall of Rome, the city was looted and pillaged by the Goths. They took all of the marble from the Colosseum and stripped it down to its bare stone setting. 22nd Augustus Caesar was the wealthiest man to ever live in history. Nephew and heir of Julius Caesar, Emperor Augustus had an estimated net worth of $460 billion when counting for inflation. 23. Only 6 people died in the Great Fire of London. The Great Fire of 1666 apparently traced its way to a baker's oven and caused massive damage across the city of London. However, despite destroying over 13,500 houses and displacing 80,000 people, it only claimed the lives of 6 unlucky Londoners. 24. Count Dracula was inspired by a real person. The titular count was based on none other than history's own Vlad the Impaler. As the monarch of Wallachia, a Romanian region of Transylvania, Vlad soon made a fearsome reputation for himself by killing and impaling the still twitching bodies of his enemies on long sticks, which he planted outside his castle. 25. The World War II Army of the U.S. is the biggest army in history. Due in part to the surge of American patriotism and because of conscription, the U.S. Army numbered 12 million soldiers by the end of the war in 1945. Thanks for watching till the end. I'll see you in the next one. Stay curious, stay amazed, and keep questioning everything you thought you knew. And if you're hungry for more mind-blowing facts, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We've got so much more to uncover, and you won't want to miss it. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. It might seem small, but it helps us a lot in bringing you more amazing content. See you the next video.